Hello and welcome to the Quibber channel. I am Jason, your host, and today we're going to do a long-form, detailed, long-term, 18-month review of the Quingo Toura Mk2, which is, in my opinion, I've used it for at least 18 months now, the best mobility scooter I have ever had the interest or joy of using. And I did a vlog on this scooter recently, a review, and I was going to be swapping out the Quingo at the end of this year for another model, a scooter cabin with an enclosed cabin, air conditioning, wonderful scooter. But last night I went out on the Quingo to a doctor's appointment. I had to go for a specialist eye test, diabetic eye test. I'd never been to this place before. It was in Stoke and it was in a side street, and it was where the roads and the streets are tiny, angled, there's stuff in the way all over the place, and all I could think to myself is, if I had been in a scooter cabin with a width of 105 centimetres and a length of 195 centimetres, I would have had to park up on that scooter over 150 metres away from the place I needed to go. The Quingo, I was able to park up outside the door. I was able to take my walking stick and walk straight in there. And I think that sealed my choice of sticking with the Quingo, because the idea of having a scooter that's enclosed, it's more like a car and all that, is wonderful, but I've been spoilt by the Quingo. I really have been spoilt by the Quingo. You don't expect to have something so good. You see, I've tried Quingo Masters, I've tried different Pride versions, and I've test drived quite a few different ones before I decided on this model. At the moment I'm in a local park just going around, and this scooter can fit anywhere, literally anywhere in this park. As you can see here, we're coming up to a little corner here where we go past this area, and some scooters who are wider would not be able to do this. I can take this anywhere. I've been all the way to Trentham Gardens and gone around the lakes. I've gone up hills. I've taken it through mud, through grass, through forested areas, and it's never let me down. And that's important to me. When I leave my house, this is my mobile safe space. This is the place I feel safest in. Mobile scooters for disabled people are something really special. It gives us a freedom that we don't usually have. And that freedom is priceless. But if you're on a scooter that breaks down, if you're on a scooter that isn't designed right, if you're on a scooter that will fail you, then it can have a really bad effect on you. So let's talk about the basics. It's a 5-wheel scooter, the Quingo. And the design of this scooter's wheels is very odd, very strange towards anything else out there. The 5 wheels gives it the mobility of a three-wheel scooter, the turning radius is basically the length of the actual vehicle. It can turn, and I'll show you just here how quick this thing. It can turn in its own son. And people, when they see it, they think, oh, those wheels are tiny. It mustn't be very good off-road. It mustn't not be very good going places. This has 5 wheels, and the 2 wheels on the back run by a 650 watt 4-pole motor, which I have not found anywhere that it can't handle. And I mean anywhere that this beast of a vehicle can't handle. And the front wheels are on a wishbone. So you've got your central wheel, which is always connected with the ground, and then you've got one on either side on like a wishbone suspension type thing, which actually allows it to be stable, but 2 of those wheels are usually only on the ground at the same time. It is very, very comfortable. It can handle grass, it can handle concrete, it can handle sand. This thing goes pretty much anywhere. It handles hills. I live in one of the most hilly parts of the UK. Stoke-on-Trent doesn't usually have a full marathon. It has a half marathon because the hills that are around here, and each of the 5 towns are built basically on a hill, are so slim destroying that they don't do a full marathon. So I have done 909.7 miles on this at the moment. So we talked about the wheels. The wheels are amazing. I think it's a 3.6 bar pressure for the wheels. I think it's 3.6 or 2.6. I'm not sure. Don't go on the numbers with me, because I just put the thing in and pump up the tyres. But they're all the same pressure. I know that much. And it is one of the most comfortable rides I've ever had. The suspension isn't as good as something like the Pride Revo, but it's the difference between being able to being in a Land Rover and being in a Kia smart car type thing. This thing can go anywhere. It really can. Now, the seat. The captain's chair seat is the most comfortable seat I have ever used in my life. It's more comfortable than my £400 gaming chair that I sit on during the day. I never have an ache or a pain when I've sat on the actual chair inside the actual Quingo. There is some things that I would say are lacking, and I'll go through them at the end. The dashboard is wonderful. It really is. Very clear. In fact, I'll stop and I'll show you. Just park up to the side here in case anybody wants to go past. Oh, one thing I will mention as well. I have never had the brakes fail on this system. The braking system on the Quingo is automatic. You have a backup brake that you can pull, a front brake on the main wheel, but I have never had to use it. So I'm just going to lift this off. It's not the easiest thing to get over there. Right, so So let's have a look at the dashboard. As you can see, it's very well lit, very easy to read. It's got temperature, it's got miles gone, it's got the battery level, and it's got your speed. To the left here, you've got the graduation control where you can decide your speed limit and you can turn it from fast to slow. It's got a lighting system, it's got a horn, it's got a hazard, and it's got the indicators. So let's put this back. I have never had to brake manually. No matter how fast I'm going, I never worry that the brakes won't work. They are completely reliable. It has more space than any other mobility scooter I've ever tried. Because of the small wheels, because on a usual scooter, the front wheels are quite big, and therefore, if you're a big guy, I'm 6 foot. If you're a big guy, you have to basically crunch up a little bit. And you feel it when I go out on the Pride Revo too, for the few places like a hospital's office that I can't fit in this in. That can be quite tiring after a while. It's got floating places for you to put your feet. And I just can have my legs fully out. In fact, I'll show you that. There we are, you can see where my feet are there. Very comfortable positioning. And wonderful. It has one of the best accelerations from 0 to 8 miles an hour that I've ever had the joy to have. Now, why is that important? It isn't just about the speed, it's about being able to get where you need to go at a premium rate. What do I mean by that? Well, if I have to cross a road, if I'm not using this on the road and I have to cross a road, I can get across a road really, really fast. Some scooters, the gradual start means you're very slow crossing the road, and for some that can be nervous for me. That can be, if I'm crossing a road and say it's a blind corner or something and I don't know what's coming or anything, I need to be able to move this vehicle out of the way, and the Quingo with its motor and everything always gives me that. The lever throttle on this unit is amazing. I don't put it into slow-mo anymore. You can turn it into tortoise mode, and you can change it so its max speed is 4 miles an hour. I never do that because the gradual control of this lever is so well that once you get used to it, you don't have to turn down the power. I like having the ability to go as slow or as fast as I need to in any situation. This is one of the width-wise tiniest scooters you can get, especially for a one that goes on the actual road as well. It's in the 60s. Now, for example, something like TGA S4 Breeze is in the 70s, and those 10 centimeters or 8 centimeters actually make a difference. They really do. When you have to maneuver around shops and stuff like this, it's a godsend having something so thin. But it does look odd. The Quingo looks fucking odd. So my apologies and so on. really odd compared to any other scooter out there. It really does. But it's the most amazing feat of engineering I've ever seen. Once a month I lift it up on its back wheels and I make sure to tighten every part of it, all the bolts and that. It's just a standard thing I do. So this is probably going to be a two-part review because there's so much for me to talk about. You can tell how much I love this scooter. It isn't that I'm a fanboy. I deal in quantifiable qualities. I know that any time, day or night, I can get on this scooter and actually leave my house reliably without having to worry. I know that I can go on the road, that it's got good visibility. I know that I can take it round shops without being a danger to someone else. Even with the cabin on, it is still small enough to go around the shops. It has regenerative braking, which actually means that every time I slow down, every time I stop, a little bit of the power is going back into the battery. Its range is 50 odd miles. I myself have taken it out 25 miles. We're not talking range in a lab or in a perfectly flat surface or tested in a Quingo car park. We're talking in Stoke-on-Trent. I've travelled 25 miles out and 25 miles back on this particular unit, and this unit isn't new. I will point that out right now, that I bought it second hand. This is a 2021 model of the Quingo, and from what I understand when I bought it, the past history of it is it was bought for someone and unfortunately that person passed away before they could use it, so it was left in a garage for about a year and a half. And then it was sold. It needed some stuff repaired, like the main motherboard in it had failed and had to be replaced because it's been sitting for over a year and so on. And then it was sold on to a company, and then I got it. It had very little mileage on it at all. Basically just moving from the place to where I picked it up on the back of a truck. That was all that was done with it. So, it wasn't, the batteries are still the original batteries, from what I understand. Because for some reason they held a charge still. It was crazy. And these batteries have gone through at least one winter with me, outside, in the cold. Yes, I keep them charged, trickle charged at all times, because they're not lithium batteries. So you can keep them charged to 100% all the time. Now we're going to go down onto the actual main street, so it will get a bit noisy, and we're all going to stop this here, and I'm going to change to part 2. So this is Jason for the Quingo channel, part 2 coming up.